Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully able to get the stream on, and yeah, we're ready for our setup. So this is fantastic. Can I get some confirmation from the chat that you guys can actually hear me and the audio is coming through fine? That would be fantastic. Hello there, Slack. How are you doing, my friend? Fantastic. Hello there, Neuhauser. How are you doing, my friend? Okay, let's make sure we share the stream. If you guys have the ability, I would appreciate it if you share the stream. Looking forward to this one. This one is going to be interesting. Now, I do apologise about the delay here. We weren't able to do Wednesday this time, but we're doing a Friday. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm sure we'll be able to make it work. How is everybody then? Yeah, the World Cup has been interesting. It has been heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie, but honestly, I assume that there would have been absolute anarchy in the UK had we had actually won the World Cup. It would have been absolutely ridiculous. Yes, indeed, we do have a pocket finally formed here. Hello there, Camstar. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah. I mean, we've only got 3 minutes until we start the stream proper, so this is going to be great. I'm going to get my handy-dandy drawing tool up and ready to go. Always comes in very handy. Thank you, Camistar, for the hosting that. That's really appreciated. And indeed, we do have our pockets over here. It is actually quite the formidable pocket. I don't know if we will be able to hold it for the time being. But at the end of the day, we are going to be cutting them off from their supply phase for a possibly a short time, ideally a longer time. That would be ideal. Now, how is everyone doing today? Have you had a great week so far? How's the weather where you are? And go on then, let's see. What time is it over there as well? A few questions. Let's see if we can get some answers. Yeah. Literally tons of German tanks. I mean, we have the 21st Panzer Division, we have the 2nd Panzer Division, we have the 10th SS Panzer Division, we have the 130th Panzer Division. Actually, a good amount of armour there. Quite formidable. Hello there, Hedge. How are you doing, my friend? And that would be Field Marshal. Haha. Freezing and raining. Sounds absolutely marvellous. Now we have about 1 minute until the stream starts. 10 AM, my god. Most time zones. So yes, only a few moments until the stream starts properly. I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am. Mere moments now. Very excited about this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again where we are here in the week to pursue the war in the West. As we try... And we have successfully repulsed the Germans' offensive here at the Ardennes. Now, we have managed to form a pocket of our own. We have managed to launch a surprisingly effective counterattack. I say surprising because I didn't actually expect this to succeed. I don't think there was much hope for us But nonetheless, we've managed to pull it off here with the American forces in conjunction with Free French to the south and British to the north, as well as Commonwealth forces. It is going to be a highly and hotly contested pocket. Now, we do have the 82nd Airborne over here, the 82nd US Airborne. They are in a blocking position, though their strength is limited. Probably limited would be quite the overstatement. So we do hold in our pocket here the Malmedy pocket, 4 Panzer Divisions, 3 here Panzer Divisions, 1 SS Panzer Division. We have a good number of Volksgrenadier divisions as well as some normal infantry divisions. Or at least standard infantry divisions over here. So, it is going to be very, very interesting trying to hold on to this pocket. If we take a look over here then, so we're going to draw our lines here. So we have a pocket created by US forces here. Now the German forces are in a difficult position. If we draw on where their strength is, we can sort of get an idea of this. Now, we are on the ground in this area. We don't control the town here, though the rail connection and the town itself is technically under our Allied control. It is not directly held. We don't have troops there, we only have light amount of troops. What you do have to bear in mind is that each turn that units of opposing forces spend in contact, 1% ammunition is used. This is basically to simulate the low-level operations. So, you know, reconnaissance, low-level skirmishes, that sort of thing. So, we are in an interesting position. Now, I don't even know if there's anything here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go back on that one. Let's see. We'll draw the German positions as we see them, as we have very poor intelligence as of this moment in time. So as far as we can tell, that pocket is indeed a pocket and very well open. We have no other information, but I'm going to draw the line. Okay. So, the German offensive power over here is very limited. The fact is they're being held by brigades over here. If we're able to push our divisions through, or indeed use the armor, we could even try to interrupt these positions here. These divisions here, I should say. I don't think it is going to happen, mostly due to the fact that the Axis here are not going to just stand still. Though I don't think they're in a position to launch a counterattack to open up this pocket. The vast majority of their army is gone now. It's held inside Malmedy, which puts us in a very advantageous position. Now, if I was to, well, let's say predict German movement, I'm going to say they are going to pull back from this pocket. Well, it's a Bulge. Let's say a battle of the Bulge. Now, they're going to pull back over here. This is what I estimate to happen. These forces over here, we could expect to see them head to the north, perhaps. This line here is going to be rather interesting. Do the Germans decide to hold their position on this line, or do they indeed fall back to the river line, which right now isn't going to offer them very much. As the rivers are frozen, they don't really offer much of an obstacle. Don't get us wrong, but still difficult terrain, but still nothing like the obstacles that they would normally present. So, those are the options. I'm going to assume that they pull back here. A break out at Malmedy is potentially possible. They do have supplies here, they do potentially have fuel available. If they're going to try to attempt to break out of the Malmedy pocket, it is going to come within the first turn of it being created, which is obviously now. So if we take a look at our lines here, draw our own lines, we can see things are somewhat interesting. Actually, I'm going to make sure we do this properly color-coded. It's obviously not necessary, but you know what? I think it makes things a lot more fun. So there we go. Let's bring up a purple. Do I have a purple? The closest I have is like a darker blue, so we'll use that over here north. Okay. At least this way we can clearly see where our forces are and where our objectives are. I'm going to use a orange over this way. Okay, so we can see the different armies in the area here in central France. Well, I suppose We are in Alsace-Lorraine, we're approaching the German heartlands. I mean, we are already on the doorstep of Germany. Aachen is ours. We're quite deep in here, within the Rhine. So let's see, how are we going to advance then? Our possible positions of advantage are over here. Now, we do have to deal with the Fuchsjäger divisions, we do have Panzergrenadier divisions as well as infantry divisions. Though I'd imagine the best bet would be to head straight towards Koblenz, as this will sever the German rail lines and ultimately destroy their logistics in the area. It's a very tenuous grip that they have in this area right now, very, very tenuous. Though what we need to do then is actually try to secure Frankfurt. With Frankfurt, we do have a major city, and over here in the north, we are going to be going for Cologne. Now, Cologne is held by a division, so it's going to be very stiff resistance there, and even perhaps not worthwhile. Alsace and Lorraine are considered Germany or France. It depends what time period you're in, really. Horn does the same job. Okay. So we have a general idea of what we're looking at here. We have an idea that we do need to destroy this pocket. So this is what this army will be tasked with. So let's take a look. So we do have the 12th US Army Group. The 1st US Army. They're going to be in charge of this. So let's see. What do we have available? We do still have some movement, but we aren't able to penetrate over here. What I'd like to do is see what depots we have in this area. So the vast majority of our... Whoops, not this one. Of our air forces are based over here in the north. So let's see what depots we have available. Now we do have plenty of depots, but can I create some more to make... Yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create some depots. And we'll make this accessible. Okay. Okay, so we have that depot being created over here, so we can look at the other locations for the depots to reduce the amount of vehicle usage that we're actually using between the airfields and the other depots. Now, so I do apologise about a little interruption there. I hadn't made my family quite aware that I was streaming. No issues. Okay, another depot. Now I'm going to reduce the priority. But the idea here is we have more depots in the area, therefore they will be able to draw from a depot closer to them, leave more vehicles available for the front line, where they can be of more use. There we go, that should be potentially enough. Ideally, if we could create them on the higher level airfields, that'd be very advantageous. Okay, how about over here? Yes, we can create another one. Okay, fantastic. Right, so it is going to make things a little bit more difficult, as we are going to be moving supplies to different depots rather than the other ones. So do you not think the Germans will try to reopen the pocket at the US Armoured Brigades? They could try. I really don't think it would be a very likely scenario, but it is definitely one that we do have to consider. The German forces are most stable. I mean, we do have a division here. It's a very weak division, but it's a division nonetheless. I can stiffen it slightly by adding in support and troops, which is actually quite a good thing to do. So what we'll do then is we'll add extra armor in here. So that takes us up to 291 armored fighting vehicles. Brings our strength up. Let's see what we can do here with support. So we'll add in further support forces, but we can only add the one here for the brigade. Okay. So that has stiffened resistance considerably. Now, let's see if we can do it over in these other divisions. Basically try to make sure that we can hold on as much as possible. I'm going to put in a anti-tank over here. Now this is actually quite formidable, and I will put them on reserve, so ideally they may be able to engage in battle elsewhere, support other forces along the line. This position here would be very much able to hold. We do have a division over here that I can set to reserve. Hopefully allow them to help out. Now, I do have these forces here. They do not quite have the movement capability, but we'll have to try and make the most of this. There isn't really any troops, okay. And so they have to move their units in from elsewhere. Yeah, that's the point here. Ideally, they move their troops from the north. We are making progress with the British, the British army here in the north and the Commonwealth forces. We are making progress. It is increasing, with the fall of Cologne looking somewhat possible, somewhat plausible. We are in a solid position for the time being. We just need to make sure that lasts. Okay. Now I'd like to see if we have the potential to actually create depots closer to the front line. The reason being I would like to get more supplies in here. We are somewhat limited. So let's see if we have that potential. I'm not seeing it over here. Potentially over here. Bitburg, not as of yet. It may be that we have to catch Malabadi before we can do that. Unless I can create it on the airfields over here. No, not as yet. Okay. It does make it somewhat difficult. I can't open one at Baston either. Okay, Aachen, we have a depot already, which is quite nice. Okay. So we are in the ground phase as of this moment in time. There isn't too much that we could do right now. We are making progress in the south, though I fear it is not really worthwhile. We do have reinforcements that we do have to move out, so we will take a look at that. Now, what I'm going to see about is the amount of forces assigned to these US corps. It is very much over capacity. We do have the airborne corps over here. I think what I will do then is see if I can move them to Arlon, see if that will help us. I'm not going to use the rail elements as I do want to preserve them. Reserve that capability. Right, okay, we have the army there. We are going to move this corps over this way. I'm going to have that move to, let's see, we do have a smaller rail depot over here. I'm going to make this a higher level depot. Okay. Thank you, Pixel. It's great to see you, by the way. Right, I'm going to move them over this way. I'm going to have you assigned to the 1st US Army. And here we go. We can have a few units transition now. So 1111. Okay. A little bit overburdened here. What we can do is we can have forces assigned to the 21st Corps. So we'll do that now then, shall we? Okay, 21st US Corps. So that is the 4th US Infantry Division. And there we go. And that has reduced the amount of pressure on this command. Over here, we are probably overburdened. Let's see. Actually, no, we're doing quite well, which is nice to see. We do have our other armies here. We do have this core command over here, which I would like to move up closer to the front line. Have those supplies roll out smoothly. Over here, I will move you down. Have you as close to the front line as possible. Trying to make sure that we are able to get supplies in there and as well our support. Okay. I do have another core over here that I could use. So let's see. Somewhat overburdened. Okay. We're looking quite handy here. Though what I will do then is I will take this core and we'll assign these armoured forces over here. So we're going to have you assigned to the 1st Canadian Army. And these forces will be assigned to this corps over this way. So we have the 1st. Let's have them moved. Right, they've moved command already. And there we go. At least in this way, we may be able to consolidate our supplies where they need to be. Okay, fantastic. In the north, we are going to be pushing hard, but the thing is, we are dealing with a lot of resistance here. The issue is, we aren't going to be entering Essen. What we will be doing here, then, is rather than a direct advance towards Essen, and the dangers there, we are going to go instead around and encircle it. Starve them out, which is going to be difficult. But the fact is, if we cut them off from outside, we will be able to, at our pleasure and leisure while we're at it, reduce their numbers over time. If we go straight at them where they're going to be receiving full supply, we are going to be in for a rough time. Okay. Let's see. We Considering dropping our forces, let's see what rail lines we have available. We do have to fix these rail lines. Yeah, that is a major, major priority. So let's use our rail capabilities here and move these engineers to the front line. Can I take them off the train? No, unfortunately not. Okay, so we are going to make a strategic decision here. Do we keep... Right, I can keep the one. I will send the Engineering Rail Group B service away. So let's see. How are my rail lines looking? Right, let's move them to Luxembourg and then we can move them via rail if we have that capability. Which we do. We'll move them. Unable to take them off the rails, but that's no issue. So what we'll be able to do then is, in the following turns, is try to repair these rail lines, which is a vital, absolutely vital necessity. So let's take a look at where we're drawing our supply from then, shall we? So we're drawing it currently from Aachen, which is 7 MP. Now, Aachen isn't very far away, so this is a difficult situation that we're in right now, where it's not far away, but we are still using a lot of MP to get there. Now, 7 MP, that's not too bad. How about over here? Where are you drawing your supply from? Ettelbruck. You can see one. That's actually really quite handy. Where's Ettelbruck? Yeah, you can see that is a lot closer. So you can see the difference here. So a town over this way, a depot over this way is actually 1 MP, whilst over here to Aachen is 7. So you can see how that is making our issues in supply far worse. Now, take you off the ship. We are going to move in our forces via rail, but not quite yet, so start marching them. Okay, we do have our forces over here, so let's begin to move them. Over here, we'll offload them from the ships. There we go, 8th US Armoured is unloaded and ready to go. So the infantry, sorry, the paras need to be moved out. We do have quite the US forces over here. So this is actually really handy. In all honesty, we could actually form a brand new corps. Do traffic jams affect supply? I suppose that's a difficult one to lay out. As far as I'm aware, the higher... Well, yeah, I suppose we do have traffic jams. We can see that we do have increased amounts of supply here on... Well, increased amount of strain on the rail lines over here, which is represented by the different colours, indicating the higher load. So when you have extremely high loads, things become very difficult. As far as road networks, as far as road jumps, sorry, yeah, you can see here Liège. Liège is actually very... Oh, wow, yeah, these rail lines are very heavily strained. You can see here 18,270, 18,270, lots of strain on those two rail network hubs. As far as vehicles, I would say so. Possibly in the way that, let's say, okay, so we have the core over here. This core is supplying all these units here. So, what's going to happen is this core only has a certain amount of vehicles that is available to it. So you can see here they have 789 vehicles, they need 670. So each vehicle will be sent out to the constituent units forming up this core, and then they will come back. The thing is, as they go, and then they come back, there's a chance that they do suffer attrition and that those trucks are lost. Now if they're lost, they can be then either repaired or they're completely out of commission. It's not often that they're completely out of commission, but it can happen. Will you use the new core to push the attack further or liquidate the encirclement? In fairness, I do have these forces over here on the coastline that could be attached to the 21st Corps that could be used. Now, do we use them to liquidate the pocket? It's probably the best idea. And in fact, if we break this pocket up, that is the centre of the German line just annihilated. So I think these forces will be shifted down this way. I mean, there's also the possibility that we swing from the south, but this is where the action is. This is where most of our objectives are going to be. Let's see. Yeah, most of our objectives are in this location here. So if we push the centre, where it is in fact the weakest, we will be quite handy. Okay, let's see. Rail is not an option right now, so let's begin to march our troops towards Paris, where we can then use our rail to move them. I am going to leave the 8th US Armoured on the coast, as I'd much rather move them via rail than use their fuel. The same goes for our Armoured Brigade over here, though I may move them to Cherbourg Oh, let's see. Okay, we'll move them to Sherbrooke so that they are actually in a good supply location. These guys are only half, these guys are over here, that's fine. Now, we do have another division over here, the 69th US Infantry Division. They are going to head towards Lille. We do have other forces here. Now, this is a very large British force over here of paratroopers, which will come in extreme use. I'm not going to move them via rail, as I'm going to move them via land. I don't want to put too much strain on our logistics over here. Now, the Czechoslovakian armoured can stay, well, the Czech armoured can stay there for the time being. Okay. Forces are coming into our possession, which we can make great use of. If you expand the bottom arm of the encirclement, you're going to handy rail line to move some of the supply up the north too. Yeah, that's very true. And the thing is, if we actually rebuild these rail lines, we will then be able to use our rail to actually move this way. So that's very true. If we could head towards Frankfurt, we will supply, well, secure those rail lines. The thing is, finding in Germany, there's a lot of rail. Same as in France and the Benelux, there's a lot of rail lines. It's a lot of infrastructure. Not always the best infrastructure, but it's definitely more infrastructure than you would find in the East. So that's something to very much consider. We need to make use of. Through stream elements, okay. Reading the wrong thing. Let's move these troops to Plymouth. We do have another airborne corps, sorry, airborne division. These are very, very handy troops. So let's see. We need to move them across. Allied Airborne US Army. Okay. So we have naval movement. We'll move them potentially this way. Right, where are we right now? We may not have the capability to move them this turn due to, yeah, seems like we don't have that capability as of this moment. So what we'll do is we'll move them to Bournemouth. And yeah, there we go, we can load them up. We are going to head towards Bruges. There we go. Almost able to take them off the ships this turn, but we are not able to do so. So let's again move to Bournemouth. Over here. There we go, they're both in supply, which is fantastic. Now we do have another Canadian Armoured Brigade over here. So they will be moved to Ostend. Now we did lose some men. That might have possibly been a U-boat attack, might have possibly been a mine. Or even an accident. Even attrition is a potential. But those are the Allied forces that we received, moved around and sorted. They will be moved to their destined cause of time. Yeah, we had a lot of forces arrive this turn. Next turn we'll have the 13th US Armored Division, the 656 US Tank Destroyer Battalion, then more airborne, more infantry, tank battalion. Yeah, we become stronger and stronger. Now we do only have 6 turns left, so we do need to push on these objectives. Currently, let's see. We are starting to gain victory points, but the Allies, well, the Axis is looking pretty handy at the moment. Right, just a question, can you liquidate the pockets and free some of the ports and forces? Yeah, we are going to really try to destroy this pocket more than anything. So what we're going to do then is we're going to process the turn and go from there. So, let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, shall we? I am predicting that the German forces will pull back from Gia and head towards Koblenz. But let's see what happens. They are, if they're ever going to consider a breakout, is going to be this turn. Yeah, the 1st Canadian Armoured Division is a very good formation. Oh, at Biscay Bay. Yeah, those forces over there, the Germans that are holding on to the port positions in France, well, the ports in France, they're difficult. They're quite well dug in, and it's costing me a lot to dig them out. Right, okay, so as predicted for the time being, let's see if we see any counterattacks. It seems that they're reinforcing... Yep, okay, so they're reinforced. They have pulled back slightly, which has given us breathing room, but they have not counterattacked, nor have they tried to break out from Malmedy. So... This is it then. The Malmedy pocket is definitively cut off. I can reinforce the front line, make it non-porous, shall we say. Yeah, non-porous, shall we say. Right, air losses. We've taken a lot of air losses. But I mean, our ground losses are pretty heavy. I mean, we've taken a huge loss of armoured fighter vehicles. But in the end, that catastrophic armoured battle in the west did lead to a strategic... just an absolute strategic swerve in the war. They ended up with 4 armoured divisions among Panzergrenadiers. Sorry, Volksgrenadiers. So let's see what we have here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6. Yeah, so we have 6 Panzergrenadier divisions. We have what, potentially 2 to 3. I'm seeing 1 division over there. Okay. Yeah, so 2 infantry divisions, so 6 Panzergrenadier divisions, 2 infantry divisions, 4 armoured divisions, one of those being a SS Panzer division. This is some incredible potential here. So let's see what we can do. If anything, we need to liquidate this pocket, and we need to liquidate it as soon as possible to prevent breakout and to prevent their escape. So what we will be doing then is concentrating our air power in this area. And hello there, Spearhead, how are you doing, my friend? So let's see what we have available to us then. Where is our air power at the moment? So we do have reconnaissance, which is good to see, but not essential. Now you can see that our airborne forces are actually quite formidable now. They're actually ready to go. This is pretty good. So that's handy. So now what we can do here is we can move our reconnaissance, and do we move it over here? I think we will. Reconnaissance, but no, but again, we have an idea of what we're dealing here. I'd rather move the reconnaissance forward so we can actually see what we're going to be getting ourselves in for in the future. So we'll move it to cover, let's see, across the River Moselle. There we go. Okay, reconnaissance in these areas is looking good. In fairness, I'm going to redeploy this mission over here. They can accurately, well, more or less, keep a good tab on this. We'll keep it in the location to south. Though, actually, I'm going to move it to the north. I want to cover these panzer divisions. What I'm going to be intending to do here is use our ground attack. So let's see, we have a heavy number of aircraft over here. They are going to be tasked with destroying these forces, at least trying to ideally destroy panzers. Ruin their day, pretty much. Okay, high intensity. That's very good. They're going to be flying in basically all weather. Is anyone else going to switch on the video and audio? I hope not, but it is always good if you try to refresh your stream. That usually helps. Yeah, Hitler ordering stupid counterattacks. And the thing is, it's like, yes, he was a corporal, but you know what? Some of the decisions he did make were the right decisions. It's like, for example, the disastrous campaign in Russia, when the Russians were counterattacking in the winter. Had the generals had their way, they would have obviously retreated, which would have been the logical sort of choice, but the fact is Hitler did decree that they would not fall back, that they would not retreat, and you look at that. They actually did come out there with Army Group Center, not intact, nowhere near intact, but not wiped out either, which I think was a good result overall. Interesting, really. Okay, so high intensity over this area. No quality, but the quality is stuck on 1080. No other options. Interesting. Not entirely sure what to say about that one. Right, so we're going to move further aircraft to the demolition of this pocket. Now they're down to 1. Okay, let's take a look at these target priorities. Right, remove that. Well, yes, the units are going to be the priority here. Okay, we're going to go back over here too. To the area. Okay. Unit. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you do have to refresh your stream to see the number of people watching. It's like at the moment I can see that there's 44 of you, which is fantastic. Really good to see you guys here. So it's really encouraging. So we're going to be committing a good number of aircraft over here. A few mosquitoes. I do like the mosquito aircraft. Very, very nice. Okay. Now, we've never really faced much opposition from the Luftwaffe. The Luftwaffe is basically based over here in Essen, and to the north there is a good amount of them over here by Frankfurt, but not a huge amount. They don't really have the capabilities to withstand our air power. Now, which, let's say, is nice. Very, very nice. Now, we do have further forces over here, mainly troop carriers by the looks of things. Yeah, coastal fighters. I could set up a coastal mission. I do have night fighters too. We also do have fighter bombers. So let's see. Naval patrol could be quite nice. Do you guys manually shuffle air squadrons around or let the AI handle it? It depends really. I do generally tend to move my squadrons manually just because I know where they are then. Let's see, RAF fighter command. We'll go for a naval patrol then. So, we're going to patrol this area over here. I don't want my supplies being interdicted. Let's see, 4. It's quite a large area, it's going to cover this. But what we'll do then is move it closer to the Straits of Dover. And that'll be good. Increase that. And assign what is available from us. There we go. So now they'll be running patrols over the English Channel, at least the Straits of Dover. And ideally we can try and find the U-boats in the area. Okay. Let's take a look at this then. So we're going to process the turn. Though we will take a look at the weather and see how we're going to be going on. Now the weather on the ground is quite poor, as you can imagine. And stays poor for the future. Let's take a look at the weather in the air. It seems the weather in the air is actually pretty decent. I mean, we do have clear weather for now. And then that will change to cold weather. But this is pretty good. I'm happy with the results over here. So we have low pressure here, low pressure I do believe. Right. Yeah, you can see over here, road systems. So we have obviously average, poor, and good. Good in Western Europe. At least Central Europe and Western Europe. Okay. So this is going to look good. Let's see how we get on then in the following air phase. So execute our air directives, commanders. Okay, I'm very happy with the fact that we're concentrating our air efforts over here. If these panzers are being hit, that is nothing but good news. We will be taking a look at their effectiveness, trying to see what we have hit and destroyed. Ideally, a few AFVs. Now, we ran 468 naval patrols. No discoveries there, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. Let's take a look then. So, our ground attack, what sort of results did we net here? 30 personnel, 3 guns, 2... Okay, so not very successful, but the fact is we removed 3 guns there. Yeah, the Germans finally appeared in the air. Okay, how about from the 9th US? How did we get on over here? Okay, now that's a better result. We did remove a armoured fighter vehicle here, as well as 5 artillery pieces, and that's not bad actually, just over 100 men. That's worthwhile. It did lead to the loss of quite a few allied aircraft, so those numbers really aren't as good, but that's not bad. Okay, let's take a look at this pocket then, shall we? Yeah, they're very well dug in over here. I think this position held by the 10th SS Panzer Division is gonna be hell. Then it's swamps, and they have level 3 fortifications. They aren't moving anytime soon, unless we starve them out, which is the easiest option, probably the most likely option. The infantry, well, the Volksgrenadier and the infantry at the south can be dealt with. These panzer forces are going to put up a lot of resistance, but we can deal with them. We need to narrow down the pocket and take Malmedy from them. This is probably their only depot in the area. If we remove that, they are going to be struggling like hell. So let's bring that about then, shall we? So, we're going to move our forces here from the 4th US Infantry Division and reform the division in its full capability. Okay. So the Germans have abandoned forward positions over here. They have, to a degree, strengthened their position over here. I am only faced by a brigade at Ida Oberstein, but that still is supported by a division here, the 183rd Volksgrenadier Division. We do have the 11th Panzer Division, which has been tasked with holding the line there. 17th SS Panzer Grenadier Division. We also have the 25th Panzer Grenadier Division. So, I mean, 2 Panzer Grenadier Divisions and a armor division, they would have been much more useful over here. Let's see the lines in the north then. Yeah, we could push through this. It's going to be difficult, but we could do it. We do have support coming, which is great news, but we need to break this pocket down. So let's see. The 90th can't... Well, the 90th could move to hold that position. So we'll do that then. Move the 90th. At least the regiment of the 90th. There we go, occupy the airfield. Right, now, that is great. How are our armor divisions getting on over here? Let's take a look at their table of equipment. It is getting there. It is going to take them some time, but they are getting closer and closer to a full table of equipment. Which is going to see their fighting power dramatically rise. It's already formidable, but it will increase over time. Okay. Looking great. Now, as I said before, we do need to repair these rail lines, which is going to be a lot easier said than done. But it would be great. This would be the best part. If I could secure this rail line here from Trier, then I would be able to move supplies freely up and down the line. That would be the ideal scenario. Though it's going to be a very difficult one to achieve in that. But let's see what we can manage then, shall we, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we do have the 106 US Infantry Division, which I can move forwards to help out. And I shall. Okay. Attack from multiple vectors over here. We do have another Infantry Division free. So that's good news. Then again, that is a lot of firepower. I could take this Volksgrenadier Division out fairly easily, which I think I will do. The US Airborne, let's see. I think we'll just keep them in position. I'm half tempted to send them to Bitburg, though I could send a division there to Bitburg. 82nd to Bitburg. Is that going to be a good idea, or do I keep them in their positions here? We'll see. What are their supplies looking like? Okay, they're pretty well supplied for the moment. Okay. Airborne Engineers. Parachute Rifle Squad, that are obviously armed with bazookas. 30 mil, well, 30-inch machine gun. So the 30 cal. 60mm mortars and 81mm mortars. So if you compare that to the average infantry division and see what the difference is, you can see the average infantry division has a much heavier armament. I mean, notice the fact that the heaviest machine gun that the airborne had was a 30 cal. The infantry have a 30 cal heavy as well as a 50 cal heavy. Notice the fact we have dedicated anti-tank guns as well as howitzers up to the 155, which is a formidable howitzer. We do have 105 lights and 105 normals, I suppose you could call them. But pretty handy. They come with greyhounds, so they have some integrated armor. I mean, when I say armor, it's only a scout vehicle, so it's not exactly much, but I mean, light armor is better than no armor. So at least that's present and available to the infantry. So I'd probably be better off moving our airborne here, as at least in the urban situation they can fight better. So let's do that then. It's taken a lot of them, a lot of their movement, a lot of their air, a lot of air out of their lungs, but this is worthwhile. Okay, so we can move freely here. We might try to form up and destroy and just cut the pocket in half, which would be the smartest way of doing things. Not the easiest, but definitely the smartest. Yeah, we could concentrate force. Okay, that's a formidable amount of force. I could move forces here, so that's good. I mean, this infantry division is able to hold that line. Okay. We'll take this out of commission. We'll use the 28th along with these armoured brigades. 106 can hold off. Okay. And the reason the Paratrooper Corps is not assigned to an army. It's not assigned to an army because I haven't assigned it as of yet. It will be assigned this turn, however. It is a little bit overkill. I could have the 106 along with the 2 US armoured. I mean, I do have a full division here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out and use the armoured brigade. Okay, 63rd is committed. Right, they hold their position. So what we will commit then is the 28th. And they retreat. They are not captured, but they have retreated. Actually, I want to take a look at this from the air then. So let's see really how we did. So you can see that they do have a lot of AA. So this was on the Tuesday. Yeah, there's a lot of AA. I mean, we did see combat in the air. BF-109s and Focke-Wulfs. It's actually interesting to see that the Luftwaffe is active. They did lose 1/7 of their number. We lost only 5 planes here, which is actually quite funny. Okay. Observed. And interdiction. Further air combat. I mean, this is actually quite a display of the Luftwaffe's... Yeah, we actually did take some heavy losses over here, considering that we had 108 fighter planes as well. So that's actually quite considerable. It does seem that the Luftwaffe is actually really making itself known in the area. Okay, that is a little bit of a concern, but not too bad. Now let's see, where would our airborne forces be dropped? They'd be dropped right on top of the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. I'd rather not do that. Safe to say. Okay. I do have this armoured force. Right, we have a lot more movement here. Okay, we'll use these forces. They probably won't crack. That's the issue. So what we'll do then is move the infantry up. I'm trying to create more distance here. There we go, reinforce this part of the line. Actually, bad move, keep them in the town there. Okay. Hasty attack. They hold out. Move the armoured forward. Right, they retreat. Follow up with another attack. They hold their position. And they inflicted quite heavy losses there. Okay. Let's go for a full attack then. See if we can force that division to give itself up. No, another 22 vehicles lost there. Yeah, they're putting up a formidable fight. What we are going to do then is enter that position there. There we go, being forced to retreat again. Okay. We may have a chance. I don't have the luxury to move another force here. What I do need to do then is break this force up over here. Okay. Okay. The armoured. That's an interesting proposition. We'll move the armoured back towards Aachen. The reason being I need them to resupply. Move them back to the north. Now I'm going to move the 9th US Infantry Division. As well as the 104th. But let's see. I could probably smash that. These two divisions here should have the ability to smash this. No, they actually held. Okay. I was wrong. Right, they've forced retreat. Do we have it in us to force them back? Really? No. Wow. Impressive there. Can't retreat. Okay. Now what we're going to do then is... move that force there, so we'll have the US Armored Division move up to the front line. Now, do we go for a swing of the dice here? I'd like to. These forces I'm going to have on refit. I'm going to put on refit. The reason being I need to rebuild their, well, their abilities, so to say. Okay. That's not a great situation. I'm going to have you reassigned to a corps that's closer. Interesting. Alright, have you assigned to the 12th US Army Group? Let's see, can I attach anything that is going to make our day... Well, that will make our day easier. I do have rangers. Combat engineers. Tank destroyers would be very nice. Yeah, tank battalion. We actually do have a lot of armored fighter vehicles here. So we'll give it a go then, shall we? Okay, they held their position, unsurprisingly. And I'm going to move that force there just to cover the gap. So, we don't have the liquidation of the pocket that we were looking for as such, but things are looking positive. At the end of the day, the pocket is now cut off even further, and they are looking pretty desperate. I am tempted to move this force here just to make sure, but let's take a look at what we can do in the south then, shall we? They have taken some losses. Obviously, none of them has surrendered, but the fact remains that they are now bleeding supplies and ammunition like nobody's business. Malamidi should fall next turn. They can't really move around too easily either. I mean, I'd love to fill in that gap there too. Yeah, but none are able to do that as of this moment. Half tempted to strengthen this point, which I will do. I could even pull back here. I don't really lose too much. I really strengthen my position, but I don't need to do that as this moment. British forces over here, what are we going to do? We do have the remaining divisions here. And let's see, I do have an easy way in here. That's good. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to hit them hard. Okay, they retreat. I could shift to the north, so I'll move here. Okay. Now this British Infantry Division... No, well, this part of this division will move up here. Okay. Let's take both of these engineering regiments, well, services, groups, whatever you want to call them, off the rail. Now, we do have an opportunity here if we break this, but that is pretty difficult. Pretty difficult indeed. Okay. I think we need to concentrate our attack here. 3 and 3, though they're not very well. Let's form this division. Then move the guards armoured. Break that up. Just move a force over here. Just a regiment. Well, brigade, sorry. Okay. Start to move our forces. Move the infantry first of all. There we go. Can you stream at something lower than 1080p? Unfortunately not, as obviously on YouTube this video will have to be in 1080p so people can have a better option. I'm not sure as to why you can't change these settings. I can only apologize about that. I mean, obviously if somebody can help me change them without affecting things, I'd love to know. Though I'd have to discuss that with Slytherin and Matrix first. Right, here we go. So the 21st Corps is going to have a significant amount of force available, and that is quite nice there. Further force yet to come. There we go. And that's a full Corps. Very nice. The beauty is with these 5 infantry divisions here. It's a Twitch thing, okay. Yes, so with these 5 infantry divisions here, they'll be able to unload and then move into positions. So they'll be able to smash through these forces here and really start to drive up the centre. I am really trying to build up my armoured forces again, especially in terms of table of equipment and fuel, as that's something we do have to worry about. Okay, so let's see here. We are going to have to move the airborne up to the front. I'm going to move them towards the airfields. So, let's see. We'll move them to these high-level airfields. That was the wrong force. Okay, offload. There we go. Okay. Do you think we might get a Battle Academy on GOG soon? I would have to ask Slytherin. Hopefully we could see that. That'd be pretty awesome. Okay. This position's difficult. We do have these armoured divisions. We can move both of them via rail, which is great. But what I will do then is keep them in that position for this moment in time. Or do we? Right, this US infantry, sorry, US Airborne Division. Oh, so it's the reformed 101st US Airborne. Right, okay. What we're going to do is we're going to put them on refit for the time being. Try to build them back up. But it's good to see the 101st. I mean, obviously the division was completely destroyed. Let's move them into Paris. Okay. We do need to decide where we're going to have our airborne troops land. That would be great. Okay. Commando Brigade. Okay, I'd like to make use of them elsewhere, so we're going to have them move to Antwerp. There we go, prepare that rail. There we go. Okay, so, superb. At least in the following phase we'll have these 4 rail hexes made available, so at least then we'll be able to move our supplies up. What we are trying to do then is make this available to us in the south. So what I will do then is, well, to be fair, I do need to hold on to this position. Do we build up the rail lines here? Might be worthwhile. The fact is we are dealing with a city over here, so we could do with a wide, giving the city of Trier a wide berth. Over here too, if I can. Superb. Okay. So yeah, our armoured forces are recovering here in the south, so they're going to be ready to use soon enough. I'd like to try and fill this southern front up with... Well, we do have 3 French... Oh, yeah. So these US infantry divisions and brigades are commanded by 3 French commanders. Ideally, the south could be handled by the 3 French alone, though... It's a possibility. I don't quite want to take that risk as of yet. Just in case. Okay. Let's see, we need to build up our force here. If we can force that division out of the way, we are looking solid. Okay. There's a high amount of firepower. Yeah, they're forced retreat. That's fantastic news. Right, let's go for a planned attack, see what happens. Okay, the armoured might be sent in sooner than thought. That breakthrough is rather important. The reason being we try to push them round. There we go. Okay, what do you guys think? Do we move straight up through the gap with the armoured? Or do we hold on, allow the armour to build up their table equipment even further, build up their fuel even more, and supply even more, so that when we do have the infantry ready to push up again, we are going to be able to take real advantage. So the fact remains, we are looking at a possibility to form another pocket here, if we really play our cards right. So I'd like to lure the Jones into a position of somewhat confidence that they're able to handle the situation, and then spring the trap on them, so to say. Okay. We can move them freely. Okay, so let's move our US armor divisions. And I am going to move them to the south here. It's just the one. Can I move the other? Or did I move the other? The other one couldn't move as far. But the 13th can be assigned to this army corps. So strange to see an organised front line. Mine always ends up looking like a rainbow, mismatched colours everywhere. That's usually what happens with mine, to be fair, so I wouldn't take this as much proof as of yet. Okay, superb. So with armour breaking up, WWAD, what would a gripper do? I love myself there, I love some gripper. Okay, yeah, so we are building up our armoured divisions over here. I mean, we do have 4 armoured divisions, so should they be ready to move in the next turn, that's going to be a supreme amount of force going down here. The idea is that we encircle the Panzergrenadier divisions. So we have the 15th Panzergrenadier divisions, we still have the Panzergrenadiers to the south. The ones I do not want to move, well, see move is the 17th SS Panzergrenadier division. That would be pretty scary. So I'd rather see that stay put for the time being. Okay, so we're going to launch an attack over here in the north. It seems I'm not able to remove the guards. Try it. Okay, we reduced our fortifications. We did take heavy losses, but not unsustainable. Only a hasty attack is available. We'll throw the armoured in here then. Yeah, it seems the guards aren't able to attack us this moment. Right, the infantry unable to break through, but they are weakening. Yeah, no fortifications are there right now, so that's good news. Okay. So we are starting to break them. That's very nice. Right, let's keep moving our airborne. Okay, might as well move them, I suppose. I don't have unlimited rail resources. If I'd played Soviets, I'd throw armor, but in the west I'd wait. Yeah, I'd love to do some one in the west. Sorry, one of these as well. Hello there, Martin. How are you doing, my friend? Okay, so the situation is going fairly well, in all honesty. We are looking at breaking through the German lines quite nicely. Right. Once this is broken down, we will have a lot more to play with. We take a look at the order of battle here. You can see that the Germans are operating at 1.5 million. We're operating at a good combined strength of 2.1 million. 12,861 armoured fighter vehicles. The Germans, well, the Axis, only 2,388. That's ready. So you can imagine that there is a fair amount of armour here that is going to be just completely wiped out. Not to mention the trucks and logistics bound within them. That is going to be completely lost for the Germans. And they're not going to be able to regain that back, so that's going to cost them a hell of a lot. Okay, that's good news. And as for the rest, let's see. Not a huge amount of movement that can be made here. Pretty much the story of the West, if I'm right. Okay. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to move some Free French forces over here to the north. I'm going to take the US infantry. And ideally move them. Right, you're quite heavily burdened. You could have further forces given to you. So we'll change them over to this core. There we go. I'm just going to lighten the load on the Free French. There we go. Okay, so we're building up for a armoured push. That's very good. And do the German units auto-reform, forcing them to use equipment to refill them? Yes, they do. Though I believe they automatically reform. It's like, for example, the 101st Airborne has reformed. Like, if I wanted to go in here, I could change this from 100... all the way down to 50, so that they're going to basically stop drawing from the supply system. The units here need supply to convert that into ammunition, and I think from damage units, if I remember how replacement works, it's like, for example, they'll draw about 25% of the manpower pool back, and then it'll go back in to replace them. I can't quite remember how it works exactly. I have received the full physical copy of the manual, and it is labyrinthian. It is quite massive. Leviathan-esque. So, very much would like to see that. Yeah, even 50% is a lot of drainage on the German stockpiles to destroy those pocketed units. There, that's the thing. It's going to be really, really bad for them. It's like, they only have a brigade here that's holding them. That's not going to do any good. They're going to lose a lot of men here. We are going to really make sure that we take account of how many men are actually lost here. It's like, at the moment, they've lost 5,716 men. We've lost 679 men. Our losses are quite big, supposedly. Though the thing is, a lot is disabled, not many killed, lost or disabled. That's what's really going to capture this. Maybe this. Though we did lose the 101st, the Germans have lost a few forces too. So this is looking good. Okay, so let's take a look at the conditions over here that we're trying to create. So we do need to destroy the Malmedy pocket. Let's just erase that. Oh. Tried to get rid of a part of it, but I will. So yeah, the Malmedy pocket will be eliminated. At which point the German centre is going to suffer catastrophically. I mean, they've already suffered. They can't break them out unless they really threw everything that they had. And even then, they probably would not get through. What we do see here is an important chink in the Axis defence, which is going to come through here. Let's essentially redraw that one in a thicker pen. Yeah, so this is where we have a good chance to break through. Very much so. There we go. That is my arrow or mushroom, whatever you guys would like to see that as. That is our... that is the plan. We're going to push towards Koblenz. Koblenz is the target. Ideally in the north, we could try to engineer a situation where we can cut off further German forces, though we'll have to see. The thing is they're drawing forces from other fronts to fill in the gaps in the centre, and it's going to get to a point where they are just unable to do so, and a tree. Indeed. Yeah, well, they're not going to be able to fill it in, and it's just going to collapse on them. So, we're going to process the turn and see how we go. Okay. Indeed, a nuclear mushroom. Why not? Yeah, another thing that we'll be taking a look at in the following phase is the amount of production in the area. Right, so we can see that the Germans are actually committing a large amount of strength to this area here. Actually, no, it seems like it's been shifted around. Yeah, these guys have gone now 2 times without supply. So that's 2 weeks without supply. That is a long time. A very long time in the depths of winter. They're not having a good time of it. It's safe to bloody well say. Okay. Now, if anything, this will be the turn where we destroy the pockets. You can see it's very light. And it is very much going to break down. So let's see. These units are isolated and they're suffering very heavily. Let's take a look at the supply situation, shall we? So we have fuel. Fuel they're looking at Rhine, obviously because they've not really moved. Ammunition is practically gone in a lot of these units. The thing is, when the unit has practically no ammunition or low ammunition, they fight with a severe penalty. It's even worse on the offense, but on the defense they fight with severe penalties, so that's great. The fact is we have a lot of ammunition, and we're able to go full ahead into the German forces, so that's great news. If we take a look at our, let's see, morale perhaps? Morale stays high, especially in the SS, and some of the Panzer units, but the morale of the Volksgrenadiers is beginning to waver, and they know they're in a poor situation. Experience is okay, average to good. Yeah, the supply situation is horrific. Some units have more supply than others, but with the fighting, they're going to collapse very, very quickly. So what we will do then is we'll use our air power to hit them continuously and really, really try to drop them. Yeah, SS defensive values dropped from X to 42. So yeah, they are not happy. The thing is, if we concentrate our air power in this area, as we are doing, they're going to collapse even further. We do have the RAF running reconnaissance, but I will change it to run over this area. Now, what I do have to bear in mind is that the Luftwaffe is definitely active. And I am worried by that, but not so much as I'm going to change things around. I'd rather have my air commands focus on really whittling this pocket down. If we take a closer look at what we're dealing with over here, it is an interesting situation. You can see that they've redeployed troops, and this is weaker, this is still a strong point, but this we could break through. This could be done. And then I might even be able to encircle the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. We do have a possibility to break through the 726th Infantry Regiment over here, as well as the elements of the 9th Volksgrenadier Division. So that would enable us to potentially look at encircling the 276th Volksgrenadier Division, as well as the 6th SS Mountain Division. The 6th SS Mountain Division have been a thorn in my side for some time. They're a very tough bunch, they do not make things easy, so we'll have to see what we can do about that. Okay. Let's see what we can manage. We do have the Fallschirmjägers to the north, quite a lot of Fallschirmjägers. Just because they're Jaegers doesn't mean that they're necessarily the Jaegers of old. And that was actually very good. Right, another US Infantry Division has arrived. We do have the 13th US Airborne Division. In fact, we do need to start planning for airborne landings, and the thing is, I could use a lot of airborne in the rear. Quite deep, really trying to make the situation difficult for them. The fact is, they do have air defenses over here. Not so much over here, but they are going to be running that air defense. You can see they're very much grouped up in about 4 pockets, I'd say. So if we zoom out, we'll draw really the presence of the Luftwaffe. So, I mean, we have Luftwaffe. About 4 distinct pockets. Obviously, our strength is really... No, sorry. Really all here. So we have it all grouped up. So hopefully by the sheer numerical superiority that we can make it work. Let's take a look at the weather then, shall we? Let's take a quick look. Right, so on the ground, the weather is poor and remains poor. In the air, not too bad. Let's go to the dominating weather table. So, what we're looking for then is the temperatures. So, let's see. So, we're looking at temperature humid, so cold, cold. So, we're looking at cold for a good amount of time, then rain. And eventually we'll see clear here, but then more rain and cold. So, yeah, snowfall here. Okay. So, it's going to be some time before we see the good weather. And this obviously is really nice. You can see the month, the turn, so turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 of February. It gives you a good idea of what you're really going to be getting for. So that's good. Okay. So we do our target set out. Ammunition's loaded. Fuel is fuel's ready to go. It's all ready, ladies and gentlemen. The troops are ready. Everybody knows their duty. Let's get on with it then, shall we? And bring the Reich to an end. Okay. We'll take a look at the flow of logistics afterwards, actually. That's something I do want to take a look at. Not to mention the production that we've captured. And Aachen had a lot of production too, so that is a loss for the Reich. One that is quite keenly felt as well. Whether production is reliable in the game? Yes, they are. So you know really how to plan. Okay, lots of air combat there. The Luftwaffe is becoming a dangerous issue. So in the following phase, we will be, well, really dealing with the Luftwaffe. But I'm happy with the amount of bombing missions that we're running against the trapped forces there. The idea is to make sure that we can break them. Yeah, just look at all those bombing runs. That's really very nice. Reconnaissance as well. Great news. Now, we can cut the pocket in half, which is fantastic. Which will make things even worse for them. Attack them from many different locations as well. Okay. Lots of bombing runs here. So we've lost about 284 planes, 285, 207. So a good 2/3 of our losses are due to the Luftwaffe. The Germans are really starting to pull it up in the air, or pull it back in the air. Okay, you can see here that the numbers have increased dramatically now. 192, 139, 614, 12, 14, 104, 59, 272, 11. 53, 3, 31, 11. Yeah, 37, 1, 7, 1, 5, 5, 1, 6, 7, 3, 2, 7, 1. That's a lot of losses inflicted there. Okay. Time for a few air superiority missions. Find their big airfields and then target them with your fighters. Yeah, that's the idea here. Really well done there. Really well done. You can see they ran a lot of missions there. They ran 3,012 sorties. I don't, unfortunately, have strategic bombs in this scenario. In the full scenario, you do. But not in this one, unfortunately. Let's take a look here, then. Yes. Lots of losses inflicted. No AFV losses, but lots of personnel, lots of guns taken out. Really very nice. Okay. Very, very good there. Right. Let's liquidate the pocket then, shall we? Unload our troops over here. They may not be able to really make their presence felt on the battlefield. Though they might be able to, let's see. Those ones can't. They could potentially contribute to the combat. Okay. Yeah. Yes, and they can perform a full plant attack. Fantastic. That's a difficult position to break. So is this one. So what we will do then is we'll move this division here. And in fact, I could move these other divisions. They'll be in a great position next turn then. So there's a full core now ready to go. Yeah. Let's see. The 21st Corps, let's take a look at its strength. She's under the 1st US Army. She's the 12th US Army group, I do believe. 12th US. 1st US Army. Okay. The 21st, so yeah, just shy of 100,000 men. They have just shy of 1,200 guns. Quite a lot there, and 123 armoured fighting vehicles. So quite an army. Quite large. Able to really bring in the fun there. Let's see. If only. We need to concentrate on taking out the part of the pocket here. Okay. Airborne's looking pretty strong. Righto. I'm going to transfer these forces if I can. There we go. Armoured is refitting, though I'm tempted to have them committed to battle. I'm not going to do it. Right, now this is starting to look really promising. Let's see. I still can't go for a full attack, I wonder. Here we might have a chance to break through. It's starting to look better and better. I would love to try and secure the city there. That'd be very good to do. Okay, their supply situation's abysmal. We need to really just destroy them. Easy said than done, of course, but we'll do it. Okay. Let's move this force over here then. Make sure that they do not have any room to maneuver. And we're going to annihilate this position first. So this will be the 84th Infantry Division as well as the 21st Panzer Division. Hopefully we can annihilate them. They hold in their positions. Okay. Launch another attack. They hold yet again. But it's getting very close to the line here. It may be that we throw hasty attacks, really just trying to weaken them. Yeah. Okay. They're going to fall in before we turn. Right. This position is doable, I'd say. Let's see. No, they hold. Let's take a look at that battle. Jesus, that's a lot of them. Let's turn off the air. There we go. That makes it easier. You can see here that they lost a lot of men. 1/12 of their number. They lost a lot of their vehicles. Nearly 25% of their vehicles here. We did lose 42, though our losses were much lighter. We did have a lot of air support as well. So it may be that they do not fall this turn, but they will fall. It is only a matter of time. They're just unable to deal with this. Okay, we'll attack this position, weaken it. And that's the goal right now. Yeah, you can see how that has made a difference. For that division, light losses, but it should change the... yeah, you can see how that's changed. Okay. Right, these guys now are ready. Okay. We'll have the 82nd US Airborne open up this path. Let's cut this rail line now from Trier and into Trier. So, they're looking in a rough shape right now. Hit that. They retreat. Okay. Can't fill that position as of yet, but that's looking good. I mean, we've achieved what we needed to achieve, which is taking that airfield out of commission as well as severing the rail ties over here. So that's good. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Okay, take the armor off the train. They do still have very good movement. Oh, exceptional movement. Okay. These guys are looking a lot healthier. Not quite there, but they're pretty good. They can make a lot of noise, shall we say. So we need to throw them into the battle. Concentrate a lot of force and really annihilate that position. I prefer to use the minimum amount of force necessary. So we'll try it with these 3 divisions, see what success we have. They barely hold. Follow-up attack, they hold. Okay, now with these 2 divisions, they hold. Wow. Yeah, they did pretty damn well there. Light woods. I'd say they were probably dug in very well. Okay. Now, for the sake of it, push them out of the way. Now here we go. This is where we can start to drive on through. Okay. Do we do that? It is a tempting possibility. But I'd much rather have our forces in a good position, so we aren't going to go for it as of yet. The reason being, I just don't want to take that risk. I could drop airborne behind their lines and really try to draw attention away. Okay, let's start to plan this out then. So we have these airborne core. Okay, have you attached? Yep, you are. Good. Okay. Have you changed command to the airborne core? Or the British Airborne Corps? Let's start to plan this out then. Okay. In fairness, we need to choose a target that is going to have a lot of impact. It might be very deep behind lines, but that might be a very difficult position. I think potentially around here, though that is quite dangerous. Potentially around Horn. Horn would be very nice, actually. Yeah, I like the look of Horn. So what we will do then is we'll land just on the other side of the river here. If we can. Obviously the Germans aren't going to just let us. Okay, they need to move to an airfield. There we go. Target. There we go. Okay, let's move our Canadian. So much silk for the German women. Yeah, definitely. I like that one, actually. That's really quite good. I really do admire that. I like that. Okay. The difficulty is... Well, difficulty is the fact that we are going up against heavy positions over here. And I'm really not too interested in that. If anything, we need to break through here in the center to allow us to break through the north. I will move this force over here. And they can be assigned to the 2nd Canadian. And that's going to really help out our situation there in the north quite dramatically so, to be honest. Okay. Target them. This area is where we're really going for. It'd be good if I could drop them all at the same time, but I doubt it's going to happen. We just don't quite have that amount of logistics. We have a lot, don't get me wrong, but not that much. There we go. Have them attached. We'll move them to another core shortly after. Okay. We'll push along the front line here. We can draw their attention. Okay. We do have these rail lines of operational. Continue that. There we go. Right, over here. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so I think in the following phase we need to go for a large combined operation. And what I mean by that is land, sea, well, not so much sea, but air power as well. So basically paratroopers. Okay. Move the infantry. One US armoured on a train, somewhat selfish. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just over there. That's true. I think we'd like to reinforce this position here. Though, I am somewhat worried about this position, so I'm going to strengthen this area here. And this is one that has really been kind of worrisome, so we'll strengthen them over here then. Add them to the 5th US Corps, takes them up to their full strength. At least we'll be able to reinforce the line, so that's great. Okay. Move them over here. Now that's a very, very strong core. So we're going to have them all ready to move, which is going to be great. Now, do I move up closer? Probably a good idea. The reason being the less movement wasted this turn, well, next turn, the better. Move them up. There we go. Actually, let's move you there. Yeah, there we go. So that is a lot of armoured firepower there. Well, it's a lot of armoured in general. We want to be driving them up. I am going to be gunning for this position here. I need to try and destroy this Panzergrenadier force. How far are we from our objective? So we do have our objective here at Idar Oberstein as well. So at least we are on track for that. Mens isn't too far away either, so that's looking pretty decent. We're able to make good track on that one. That's pretty good. Okay, and then Koblenz, that's another target. I think Trier is gonna fall probably after Koblenz. Depends really on their amount of resistance there. We'll have to see really what we can do. Baston is ours, Aachen is ours. Yukushkin, how the heck you pronounce it, is ours. We do have other objectives here, like Liev. We are trying to secure them. Colmar is something I should be going for in the south, actually. Let's go for that, then I'll at least attempt to. Let's see. Redeploy the armored. There we go. Abandon that position. Really try to build up in this area here. That'd be a good idea. Okay. Now we still have the ability to move a lot of armored. We have given them hell in this location. I could attack them a little bit more, but is it really wise? No, not really. I don't want to take too many losses. If we take a look at our losses this turn, you can see here that we've lost about 4,615 men. The Axis have lost just shy of 9,000. Lots of guns, quite a few armored fighter vehicles. Yeah. The Malmedy pocket is taking a long time to close. We are trying to go for a strategic, well, a decisive victory, so we do need to push. But once the Malmedy pocket is finally gone and done, we should be in a great position. We still have a few turns. Let's try to get things moving as quickly as possible, to be fair. So let's see where we do have opportunities. Hit them again. Right, we actually have achieved success. I wasn't quite expecting that either. Right, we'll exploit that with the guards. Move up this force. Move the 52nd if we can. Or can we move the armoured? No. How about the 7th? No. Okay. I can't take them off the trainers at this moment. So what we'll do then is we'll move some forces here. Okay. I was trying to increase the amount of rail access. These guys are on refit. I'm going to move them to Aachen where they can really make use of it. Well, the supply availability. Alright, that's looking good. Can we set up some supply over here? I need a depot. Yeah, brilliant. We'll create a depot here then. Change that to priority 4. That's good news. At least we'll have supply closer to the front line now. A depot here too. How about a Bitburg? Not quite yet. But that's great. I mean, we've created a further 2 depots right here on the front line. That's great news. Let's turn down the priority here. Okay. Okay, this is looking good. You can see the amount of rail usage is increased dramatically, like where these units are moving along the rail line. Heavy usage. So let's see. Yeah, you can see these depots are really helping out. And the Jones in Malmedy do not have even one operational. Yeah, that's very true. They really... Well, I suppose they probably still have something in Malmedy, but it's like, you class as operational. I don't particularly... Right, so we'll advance the turn. Though we'll take a quick look, see if there's any other opportunities here, first of all. Not right now, so... okay. I will like to move this 4th Canadian Armoured out there, have them used elsewhere. We are starting to close a gap on the Axis forces, it is taking some time. I think our airborne landings over here will be a great deal effective. Okay. What is your supply detail? Right, only 3. That's good news. Okay, so we need to save our logistical planes and make use of them. Okay, and into the following phase we go. Let's see what we're dealing with then, shall we? At the moment, we're not looking good on the victory points. We do really need to push on forwards. And this is a little bit more difficult. Just look at all that production over there. If we can get into the Essen area, then that's going to be great news. Yeah, they're really suffering there. I really do not think they'll last. And looks like they've abandoned Trier. Okay, okay. Now that has saved me a lot of blood. And... right, okay. So, with Trier looking pretty takeable. That is very, very well capturable. That is really good. Now, that's going to really change their positions because the fact is they've abandoned fortified positions. They've abandoned positions that have been long entrenched, and they've moved to new positions. So they're not going to really have that same preparation nor defensive capability. So let's see what we can manage here then, shall we? Now, yeah, as you can see, they've abandoned Trier, so Trier will fall, and that's a massive mistake in my opinion. It's such a good defensive position. And the Germans are dug in over here. I mean, they still have level 3. But the fact is, the SS and the Armoured will eventually capitulate, given enough persuasion, and we do have that extra persuasion. And in all honesty, we are using the greatest amount of the 1st US Army against the Normandy pocket, so it will collapse and it will be destroyed. It's a lot of men to take out a corps, basically, but it is a armoured corps. Let's see, where could I drop my troops in the following turns? So they're going to be dropping around this area, so what we will do then is take a look at dropping them. We do have pretty weak defences over here. I could potentially knock this division out of line, though this over here is doable. I'd love to have that 3 wide hex, and then being able to drive on towards Koblenz. Even if we run out of fuel, the fact is we're going to be drive them out, or able to drive them out. The airborne's going to be able to move up, and that's going to be great. If we try to collapse them in the centre, they're going to fall. Okay, but Trier is a very, very important city to take, as it's going to really give us a forward operational base, and we're not too far from Koblenz. Idar Oberstein is going to fall quite soon, and Landau could be taken with some effort, which will come from the push over here anyway, so that's good. Okay, so air assets. We're going to have to change our air missions up here. Hello there, Red Star. How are you doing, my friend? Let's see. Let's take a look at our air missions then, shall we? Okay, so we're still running reconnaissance in this area, which is always a good idea. I'm going to switch up our reconnaissance. Now, I'm going to keep the reconnaissance here because it does really help us out in the combat. Though, in fairness, I do need to move it, so we will move it. I'm going to really need to take a look at this area over here. Figure out what we're dealing with. So we'll make the area about 2. Let's move it a little bit further there. Okay. Now, we are still running ground attacks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel these missions for the time being. I'll leave the one running from the RAF. The US forces are going to be running against the Luftwaffe. Okay. Let's concentrate that further. Yeah, this position here. So what has changed over here in the north, actually? They've given a lot of ground, a hell of a lot of ground, actually. They're really trying to consolidate. Yeah, those positions are going to be great to take. It's going to be difficult, but the fact is, if we need a chink in that armor. But the thing is, we are getting very close. It's a shame that we couldn't take Cologne, though Cologne is only held by a Volkskomjäger battalion, well, brigade, sorry. So it's not very strong. It could fall with enough effort. It's just going to be difficult, so I'd rather surround it and starve it. Though Cologne is worth a... Actually, it's not even worth anything. It's not even an objective. I suppose it's... Yeah, these are our victories. Well... Arnhem would be a great location. Though it's going to be bloody difficult to take. I feel like we couldn't achieve a victory if we take these locations. We have a good chance of that. These in the north, potentially not. I could even try to drop airborne troops behind their lines. Snag it on the last turn, potentially. Okay, so we're in our naval over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to run air combat. Okay, so we need to run air superiority in this area. Probably air superiority over here, really. So what we'll do then is we'll go for ground attack first. We'll set that ground attack up. So second RAF, not second RAF, sorry. I need the Knife US Air Force. Right, target this area and this area alone. I need to break them. Everything's going to be thrown against them. Ah. Right, so we have all these fighter bombers. Let's see. No, not really interested. Okay, so I'm going to have that on 0. I'm going to focus extensively on the SS. Break them here. They're going to be hit by basically hell. Okay. Transport going to attack. Right, okay. Is that the German salient? Yep. The German salient is encircled over here, the Malmedy pocket. And it is collapsed, and it is going to go. I was hoping it would have collapsed sooner, but the fact is we've now gained a good amount of strength. That will bring it down. We're going to concentrate our air power against the SS Panzer. They're the ones with the greatest amount of strength. And when the Panzers fall, that is it. It is going to be up. And then we will have an entire army basically available to force its way through the centre of the German line. Okay, I need to run as priority. So we'll target this area here. Quite a wide area. So we'll reduce that to 3. Change it to here, the north. And let's see. Cancel the ground support mission. Okay, we'll dedicate 327 fighters to that. To the ground attack, I can dedicate some extra fighter bombers. There we go. Okay. That's looking solid. Right then, so we will proceed through the following phase and see what we can manage. And the superiority is going to be good. Wait, did I set up that superiority? Oh, it seems like I accidentally cancelled that. Okay. There we go. Yep, all assigned. Flying all weather. What altitude? Let's run that up to 28. I'll actually see what altitude we can achieve. Okay, 40,000 feet. Probably nearing the limit of their ceiling. That's looking good. Okay. We'll run that, see how we get on then. Losses should be light as we're going to be engaging the Luftwaffe in the air, though they're not going to be too light, are they? Wow, we just lost a lot of bombers there. I assume those would be bombers. The Luftwaffe has taken losses to 58 there. We are losing quite a lot. It seems like we probably should have left some escorts. I was hoping that the air superiority would have been enough. So we'll have to take some escorts away from the air superiority mission and dedicate them as actual escorts. Though, in fairness, I have far too many bombers to escort efficiently. Could do really with more fighters. Yeah, you can see the SS there really being hammered by the multiple bomb missions a day. Ideally, we knock out AFVs, and that is going to leave them pretty rough. Okay, so let's see the extent of the damage caused the SS. Yeah, I mean, they've lost 2 armored fire vehicles here. They've not taken too many personnel losses. But the fact is they've taken a few hundred losses there in terms of men. Maybe 200, 300, something in that region. Possibly up to 4 or 5, but that's still quite a heavy loss. Let's take a look at these. They've lost a lot of armor, well, artillery pieces. That's going to hurt them. Superiority. Right. Did knock out a few fighters. We did lose a lot of bombers attacking the unit. So that's a shame. Nothing here. Reconnaissance. Only a few losses, but that's fine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, the Malmedy pocket. That is what we need to close today. We are able to secure Trier, so we are going to march the elements, the 90th into Trier, which has been secured, where we find ourselves with practically no supplies, as the Germans wouldn't really leave us with that. That's fine. Okay. Move the other element to the 90th over here then. That frees up this division. Let's see. Should be able to bring this to an end now. Need to do it in such a way as I'm not dedicating too much force, but just enough. So I'm going to move. I'm going to really just concentrate against this pocket. Once this pocket's wiped out, that is it. Right, so they've retreated. Now the thing is, they're going to find it difficult to move. Need to break them. Let's see, can they... Let's see what we can do. Right, so they've all retreated. Yeah, they've lost a lot of men there, 3,601. You can see here, they were bombed a lot. Yes, indeed, they were bombed like hell. That's a really strong division. That's the first US infantry division, actually. Right, we'll use these in a hasty attack, just try and weaken them a little bit further. And we have here Volksgrenadier, Infantry, and Panzerlehr Division. That's what must be destroyed. Okay. I just need to focus on knocking something out, so if I can knock these guys out, I'll be happy with that. Right, okay, so we have the Volksgrenadier Division surrender, the 344th Infantry Division surrender, the 130th Panzerlehr Division has been shattered. Absolutely annihilated. Only a few vehicles remain. Their strength, gone. 57 men for 16,725. Huge, huge losses there. The Malmedy pocket is without Malmedy. Beautiful success there. Okay, we can pull off a hasty attack. The 71st is in a good position to aid, so we'll do that. Now I'm going to draw the armoured into this attack too. We need to throw everything against the SS. Everything I can. Might even use British forces over here too to build up that offensive power. Okay. Probably the most firepower I can bring to bear. Let's hope it is in fact enough. Oh, they hold their position. They barely hold their position. Okay. Whoa! Okay, guys, I did honestly not expect them to surrender there. That is superb. The Volksgrenadier are gone, and the 18th are shattered. The SS Panzers are forced out of the swamps there. They have been forced out of position and left to fend for themselves. Right, we'll launch a hasty attack. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'll even give ground to enable us to destroy this position. Okay, let's see if this is enough. And they're gone. The 2nd Panzer Division is gone. Okay. Practically nothing left now. Let's end this. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Malmedy pocket is no more. The 19th Volksgrenadier Division surrendered, the 84th Infantry Division surrendered, and the 21st Panzer Division surrendered. Some 21,580 German soldiers are taken into captivity, 251 pieces of artillery are captured, 101 vehicles are captured, though their condition varies from completely wrecked to, well, primed but not ready for destruction. Yes, I do not think Adolf is happy with this turn. The losses there have been high, but Malmedy has been taken, the Malmedy pocket has fallen. Wow. Some 88,178 Germans are taken into captivity this turn. 1,024 guns have fallen silent. A further 500 armoured fighting vehicles will serve to cause fear no more. The German centre has been neutered. Our losses have been avenged. That is a large amount of armoured power gone. Let's take a look at these numbers then, shall we? Someone tell me it was his decision to leave them pocket. Let's take a look here then. So we'll take a look at our total ready. So the order of battle, total ready, dramatically falls. Our total men, total ready. Yes, quite a large drop there. Guns, loss there. Ready AFVs, plummets. Let's take a look at the total ready, well, total AFVs. Large loss there. That aircraft, not looking great. We've taken quite heavy losses, so we do need to watch ourselves in the air. Well, this has really hurt them. Let's see, VPs have dramatically increased there through those victories. The Axis are looking pretty shaky here in the centre. You can see here their AFV numbers are looking pretty poor right now. They've lost a lot of men. They've lost a lot of armour. They've lost a lot of guns. They're not looking too happy right now. So, to follow up the success there, we'll have the first US Army able to move out in the following turn. So we're still in turn 9, so it will be turn 10. The scenario does end in turn 12, so we do need to be very quick now. So let's see what we can manage here. We do have a lot of power driven right up to the border here. It is looking pretty handy. The British are able to advance in the north. Now the Volksjäger could give their ground here. We are closing on our objectives. It's a very slow pace in the north, but it's one that is very short of itself. Okay, now I can secure this position here potentially. So let's see what we can do then, ladies and gentlemen. I need to open this up. And this is the important part. So the infantry are going to be used for this. a large commitment of force, but I need to break through. They hold me. Ah, good. Thank you. They give ground. Let's see, I'm going to use the 103rd. Let's see if they can manage it alone. And they do. And with that, either Oberstein has been taken, and we succeed in capturing another objective here. That's great news. So now the armor is looking pretty good. It can start to make its way forward. So what we need to do then is we need to clear the way. Did I end up accidentally using that? Well, I might as well follow them up then. Okay. So I have 2 divisions here. I can move here, so I shall do that. These 2 divisions will go... Let's see, what do we have here? So we have some infantry. Very weak on their knees. So we'll throw... let's see, this is probably the best position to hit. Potentially so. We'll go for a... Probably shouldn't move those guys there, then I can move these guys there. Oh well, that's fine. We'll go for a full attack here, see if that is enough. Hopefully it is, and it is routed from the field of battle. Let's see, can we follow up our success here? We can indeed. Oh my. The armor's going to have fun tonight. Right, they hold their position. See, do they follow it up? They do not. Yep, that is indeed a massive breakthrough. That is going to allow us to have the armor rolling towards Koblenz. Which is great timing as we are starting to look pretty worried about this time. Okay, so we're going to drive on first with the 12th. Or do we drive on with the 3rd US first? I'll use the 3rd US just to secure our position here. Okay. Now, 12th are going to move up. A lot of movement there. Or do we make sure... We'll try and open this side up first, and then we'll move. So let's see. I don't know what we're dealing with here. Something of some strength. Right, okay, so it's nothing too dangerous. That's good news then. Yep, and they're forced out of position, which means that we can encircle the Volksgrenadiers as well as the 3rd Panzer Grenadier Division, as well as the elements of the 62nd Volksgrenadier, the 560th Volksgrenadier, and the 79th Volksgrenadier. So, that is superb. Forced retreat. Head to Aachen. There we go. Redeploying our positions. This is really good news now. The fact is we've blown this open, so this is excellent. Now, we do have further armoured over here, which is actually really quite handy. Which I'm going to move through this gap. They're not going to be very strong, but if they hold, they hold. Okay, we'll move the 12th. That forces the HQs out of position. No, this is looking excellent. Let's see, I can move the 70th up here. Let's see, can I motor... Wow, that's a nice rainbow. I'm tempted to motorize them, but I'd rather not do it on a frontline unit. Right, we do have further armoured forces over here. So we'll move the 6th Cavalry up. There we go. Dislodge that position. Oh, I really do like War in the Pacific. I'd say that's probably the greatest one ever created. Okay, we'll move this armoured force up. Dislodge this guy. Yep, there we go. They're out of their position. No follow-up attacks, but that's all we need. Right, 47, 40, 36. Let's move these guys first. Not quite a pocket as of yet. Okay. Oh my god, we can secure Koblenz. Oh my. Okay, let's move up. Hon has been captured. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna secure this pocket over here. We're gonna move in and capture Koblenz. With Koblenz taken, the Axis are really starting to look worried. I mean, this has been great. We've managed to move all the way up here. We've managed to actually surround these forces, which I could then try to hold on to. But the fact is, they're going to find it pretty difficult. Again, why didn't the Allies encircle the Bulge in the Ardennes? I suppose it's probably pretty difficult. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to drop some airborne forces. As many as we can manage. Right. What am I looking for? I'm going to be looking for... 115, 190. 115, 191. It should be these forces over here. Yep. Drop. Launch. We did lose a few troops here. But they've dropped. Let's see, can I drop the others? 115. It's 1116. 115, 191. Do I drop on top of those troops? Probably not wisest idea. Can I drop at 116, 190? We'll do that. Force retreats. Yeah, we lost a few troops. On these mentality. Okay. That's good for me. It's as many as I can drop comfortably. And these guys are going to have a tough time, but at least they can actually draw supply. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Malmedy pocket has been taken. Trier has fallen. Koblenz has fallen. We've encircled 4... well, 2 elements of the 62nd Vodskgrenadier Division, as well as a further 2 full Vodskgrenadier divisions. And of course the 3rd Panzergrenadiers. They are not looking good right now. They've taken huge losses over here. We need to see where we can push them. Well, the German centre is collapsing, and the Germans are looking shaky on their feet. With the capture of Koblenz and Trier, we do have some good forward bases. Just need to work on pushing our luck here. Though we're looking at weak units in the centre, if we can keep driving up our armour, we could try to make it towards Frankfurt, but if we wheel around here towards Cologne, we might be good to go. So the idea here is going to be forcing our way through and really trying to make it. It's like we have nothing between the forces of the 13th US at Koblenz and these other armoured forces barring the airborne. But this is what we have paid for. And movement is not available here. Well, this is fine. We starve them, they're going to crack. They have no depots, and they have no urban terrain to hide in. This is great news. What is their defensive position like? Non-existent as well. They will crack. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Axis are left with 91,795 losses, 1,127 guns taken from their armory, 517 armoured fighting vehicles removed. Thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. You can find my channel over on YouTube at XTRG. And I hope to see you all again next week. Please do let me know what you think in the comments and post questions down below. I'll try and answer them. So until next time, thank you to Matrix and Slytherin, of course, for helping me, for allowing me to host the stream for them, and for allowing the series to exist. So if you guys want to show their support their way, that'd be great. So, goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed, there's a lot of Panthers lost. See you all next time.